So it's been a long day, and I'm about to go on a rant. Um, but bear with me because I am going to drop some insightful knowledge. So recently, all of these YouTubers are complaining that their ad revenue has significantly dropped. It's tanked 30%, 50%, 70%. Now, my YouTube channel is not big by any stretch. It's tiny. The average per month that my YouTube channel generates is around 125 to $165. You know, and these numbers aren't like some secret either. I mean, I'm sure you can reverse engineer it by searching for the topics that my videos are related to, finding out the average cost, doing some magical calculations there. So uh, the, on the other side, all these big, medium and big YouTube, well, a lot of YouTubers, basically, the bulk of them are complaining that the average revenue has dropped significantly, and they're blaming that, saying that YouTube's trying to censor them and this and that. It's not true. YouTube is not here to censor you. Okay, the you have to look at it from the perspective of YouTube and their advertisers on their Google AdWords platform. Now, the advertisers are not just giant conglomerates. Okay, I think that's the misconception that a lot of these big YouTubers are trying to almost like brainwash you into believing this. They're not censoring you. And it's not just giant conglomerates. Yes, a few of the really big advertisers have pulled out. But the with Google AdWords, I mean, you got over 1 million advertisers there, and a lot of them are small businesses. Okay, they're like solopreneurs, startups, teams of 5, 10 people that's trying to just support themselves and their family. When you look at it from that perspective, if let's say that um, I'm running ads on YouTube, right, and the content curator is telling people to, hey, get off, go here to my Patreon, go here to my website, basically sending people off of YouTube. If you look at it from that perspective, well, first, they didn't click my ad and get to and go to my website. So with that, YouTube, I guess it depends. There's different ways of them getting paid, but generally, um, if they if you're sending people off of YouTube, then chances are they're leaving YouTube and they're not seeing more ads. Okay, and if you look at it from YouTube's perspective, that's bad. They make their money by having people watch videos on YouTube, so therefore they can put ads in there, and that's how they make their money. So if you're telling people to just go here, go to my Patreon, go here, go to my website, go here, go to my Etsy, go here, go to my Amazon affiliate link, all these things. It hurts Google. I mean, it doesn't really hurt them per se, but they're not going to like that. So, and the other thing is that um, it's the, all those like all those YouTube channels that are news based or about current events and all of that. Well, you have to look at it from the other side of the coin. Now, my YouTube channel has not been affected at all by this YouTube apocalypse thing. And the reason is because my videos are so it's very, very, very specialized knowledge. In fact, I would say most of my videos, nobody that I know in person, or really, or I think just most people in general will not find interest across even more than half of my videos, because these topics are very, very diverse. They're well, I guess it's not that diverse, but I'm covering very specifics within Photoshop, very specifics within Google AdWords, very specifics within email marketing, very specifics within server administration in Linux, very, very specific things. And there's a lot of, and so the people watching this, they're in professions where they need certain tools and they need certain products to do their job. So advertisers, that includes software companies, um, uh, digital marketing companies, um, technology companies, web hosting companies, all of these like companies, the audience that watches my YouTube videos, they have intrinsic market value to uh a whole host of different industries. Now, so they're going to keep advertising. But if the content that you're creating doesn't have intrinsic market value, for example, if you're doing current events, well, then who actually makes money off of current events? It's probably the big news media companies, to be frank, um, and maybe smaller independent news sources. Well, you guys are, then that's kind of the problem. So if these big media companies aren't figuring out how to make money running ads to certain channels or certain categories of channels, and these categories aren't like tangibly like hey, this is the category I'm in, but whatever categories and classifications that YouTube's algorithm have determined what your channels and certain videos are about. If it doesn't have intrinsic market value, then there's not going to be advertisers that are willing to bid. And yes, on the other side, people bid on certain ad placements, and that's how it works. So if there's a lot of, so if your audience has a lot of intrinsic market value, then you're going to have a lot of advertisers bidding for those eyeballs. And so as they compete in this bid war on the Google AdWords platform, that determines directly how much you're going to make serving these ads from these advertisers through YouTube to your audience. Now, I think the two mistakes that a lot of YouTubers make is they are not looking at this from the bigger perspective, because you're operating on Google's infrastructure and platform. You're operating on YouTube. It's not yours. It belongs to a private company. So you have to look at it from their perspective. And on the other side, this private company that is paying you gets paid through these advertisers, and it's not just a few of these giant conglomerates. They may affect directly if they're specifically spending money on very specific channels, and you can be as precise as you want in your targeting. Yeah, so if there's only maybe one or two big advertisers that want to bid on what your video's content is about, then, well, if they pull out, then the average CPC, or cost per click, and with YouTube ads, it's there's some other different metrics there, but basically, if no one's willing to pay YouTube for advertising on that content, then YouTube will reflect. Or if maybe some of these big guys with bigger budgets pull out, then it's just the small guys, and they'll pay what they can afford to YouTube, and then YouTube takes their big chunk off because it's really expensive to operate all of that. I mean, hosting costs are not cheap, uh, especially with how much bandwidth and storage, and I mean, with on YouTube, it's I don't even want to take a guess on what the expenses are to just keep it up. Um, so if your content doesn't have any intrinsic market value, therefore advertisers are not paying Google for it, then you're not going to make money, because Google's not going to pay you for it. And additionally, if you are constantly every video sending people off to your Patreon, to your whatever, then YouTube's going to see that, and they're going to say, hey, we're sending all these people to this guy, and he's just sending them off of our website, so why should we continue to pay him? So I think those are the two biggest mistakes that all these YouTubers are making, is short-sightedness as far as not looking at the broader picture, and not looking long term. Because if you want to be in YouTube for long term, then you have to take the bigger picture into consideration. And then the other mistake is they're sending their visitors off of YouTube. So YouTube gives you the views, and then you send them off somewhere else. I mean, how is that even fair for YouTube? So just keep that in mind. I guess this is less of a it's initially it started off as me wanting to just give a rant, but this is just from my perspective, as an AdWords advertiser, what makes sense to me. And also I completely disagree with a lot of these YouTubers comments that YouTube's trying to censor them. They're not, okay? Get over it. They're not. So you can if you if you like this video, if you hate this video, press like, dislike, doesn't matter. I mean, I'm probably gonna get tons of dislikes on this video, but I'm this is the truth. I mean, it's not popular. It's not popular thing to say. It's not popular stance, but it's just the truth. So if you found this helpful in any way, subscribe to my channel, like this video, dislike this video, watch some of my other videos. Take care.